Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Mid-Atlantic Mauling League's Blood Bowl number 4. We are down to just 2 games left in the season. We're fighting, duking it out for 3rd place tonight, and it's going to be a fun one. Tonight, we've got current league champion Doug the Minotaur and the White Skull Windbreakers versus JD Whitey and the Forest of Flames. Orcs versus Wood Elves. What a fun matchup this is going to be for 3rd place. Let's take a look at this bracket before we take a look at the 2 teams. Man, it has been a great season. Boot Polish Block 182 and Doug the Minotaur, welcome to the stream. Boot Polish says, Doug, I started winning more when Ava changed the song. 11 teams qualified for this season's Blood Bowl, and this, you know what? This is where we are. This is where we are right now. The top 4 teams you can see there in the semifinals. The White Skull Windbreakers, coached by Doug the Minotaur and Orc team. Cenozoic Park, coached by Nick Satan, a Lizard team. JD Whitey's Force of Flames, a Wood Elf team. And Never Gonna is Chime's Orc team. Why don't we look at the beginning of the bracket like I wanted to? Let's just scoot back a few pages. There we go. In round 1, we had El Navarino's Stairway to Nuffle. That was an Underworld Denizens team. They face off against BB Nuts. Undead Harlequins BBFC. The Harlequins would win that game and advance into round 2, where they would face off against a Kind Sirs, Kind Peacocks Imperial Nobility team. The Harlequins would win that game as well. In round 2, I Want to Be Like Doug, coached by Richard Cranium, would face off against Eric's Alphitis Australis. That was a Dwarven team versus a Wood Elf team. Both of these coaches would have to forfeit due to technical reasons. I Want to Be Like Doug had to forfeit in round 2. Alphitis Australis forfeiting in round 3. That allowed the Harlequins to advance to round 4. And in round 4, that is where Chime's Never Gonna, an Orc team, they were sitting against the Real American Heroes, coached by Dead Fred. That was a Dark Elf team. Never Gonna would win that one to advance to round 5. The Dead Poets would defeat the Harlequins in a Undead Mirror match. The Dead Poets S. Beavers team would advance to round 5 and would lose out to Never Gonna, who would qualify for this upper bracket. The Windbreakers losing out to Cenozoic Park in a 3-2 ball game in overtime. Cenozoic Park advancing to the finals to face off against Never Gonna, who defeated JD Whitey's Force of Flames in the semifinals. And now we're going to have the penultimate game of our season. The White Skull Windbreakers are going to face off against the Force of Flames. It's going to be a Bash versus Adge matchup, a classic matchup here to duke it out for 3rd place. This is the last game. Well, this is the second to last game that Doug the Minotaur is going to be the league champion. But I hope to see him back for season 5 to try to reclaim that throne. Doug the Minotaur, of course, still Chaos Cup champion. Defeated Never Gonna in the Chaos Cup in overtime and won in kicks. Doug the Minotaur is going to be the home team this evening, coming in a TV of 1,305,000 gold, coming in with a 8, 9, 10 player roster. I think these final 4 teams are all real beat up. As 4 of the big and blockers, only has 3 blitzers, has a thrower, has 2 linemen, 1 oppo, 5 dedicated fans, and 3 rerolls. The Windbreakers are going to be up against the Wood Elf team here. The Forest of Flames coming in a TV of 1,140,000 gold. They also will have a 10-player lineup. 3 are out due to injury this week. Kaladin, the number 1 War Dancer on the roster, did lose the 2nd War Dancer in the semifinals. Has a thrower, has a catcher. I'm sorry, has 2 catchers and a whole lineman, 1 oppo, 4 dedicated fans, 3 rerolls. How the 2 teams going to play tonight? Again, it's going to be Bash versus Adge, the Forest of Flames. They're going to have to lean into their agility and their speed. The Windbreakers going to have to lean into their strength and their block skills. Both teams have a few gaps in their rosters here. You can see the Force of Flames missing one of those 2 War Dancers. War Dancers, very, very strong pieces and very important on a Wood Elf team. The War Dancers MA of 8. They're very stripping the ball out of the cage. War Dancer skills and the roster. You have a that's MA 7, Strength 3, Edge 2+, PA 4+, No, the journeyman, of course, is your lineman plus the gosh, I've already forgot. I'm like, what's the name of it? A loner. Boy, it's with the loner nega trait. It doesn't matter. Right? You're dodging it 2+. Otherwise, you've got your player in there to you've got your journeyman either on the line to block down a player as an assist, or maybe just to tie up a player. He doesn't care. He's fine with the journeyman. Really, what he has to do is he has to play solid agility ball. He means he can't be giving up too much blocks against this orc team. He's got to when he's on offense, he can kind of score whenever he wants to, and he's got to do that by taking as few hits as possible. And that's going to be a little bit of pitch control, right? He needs to spread his team out. That he can get to where he wants to be. All he has to do is open up a hole, and then he can score. But he has to, by spreading his team out, that's going to try to minimize the amount of blocks he has to take. If he's given this orc team 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks a turn, these players, and he's going to be in real trouble. Lost his kicker as well. This is also a big loss for this team. Not having the kicker on the roster means he can't put this ball to where he wants it to be, which means he can't really leverage his speed against the slower team, right? If he wants to grab the ball, he can't ensure that onside kick. If he wants to stall it out with the lead, he can't ensure the deep kick either. The orc team here is down a player. They've got the 4 big unblockers with a strength of 4. 2 have the block skill, 1 has guard. He has just 3 of the 4 blitzers, and unfortunately the gap on this team is not enough tackle, right? Only 2 of the blitzers have the tackle skill. He does have a kicker. He has a few players with Mighty Blow. Lost the big guy in the semifinals. That's a big loss for a team when you're trading on strength to lose your strongest player. Does have a thrower, has a couple of linemen. We'll just have to play, again, solid ball. This is all going to come down to tactics. It's going to come down to fundamentals for these two teams. Has to cage this ball up, has to keep the Wood Elves from getting a shot at the ball. Absolutely has to cage it up, mind you. We always say, cage the ball up. Not every team needs to do that, and not every team in every matchup needs to do that. This team needs to do that in this matchup. These Wood Elves are just too fast. If you leave that ball on the ground, they're going to snake that ball away from you. So Doug the Minotaur needs to keep it possession of the ball by caging it up, marching down the pitch, and taking as many blocks as he can. He wants to leverage Mighty Blow, leverage guard, leverage block, and try to get that player advantage early. He's gonna have the player advantage, but if he can get it early, he's gonna come out on top, I think. But by not having tackle, that means he really needs to be careful at which blitzer is going to mark who on the opposing side. He wants that tackle on that key mark so that he can negate the dodge skill on some of these Wood Elf players, so he can get the knockdown. That might mean the War Dancer. If he gets the War Dancer knocked down, we might see a foul with him, especially if he's got this journeyman running around like he's going to have to. 165K is going to be going back to the Wood Elf team in tonight's matchup. I think that's wizard money. I don't know what else you would do with that. And a wizard, a very powerful take, right? You could get a +4 on the fireball with a 3x3. You can get the zap, which is a single square, not as strong as zap used to be. Did I call it zap? It's not zap. It's oh no, it is zap as opposed to lightning bolt. Lightning bolt was very, very strong in the old version of the rules. That's been replaced with zap. Still not a bad skill, just not quite as strong, but still a wizard. A very solid pick in the inducement phase. It's gonna force your opponent to play differently, right? If they're afraid of the fireball, then maybe they don't want a tight cage. But as we just said, Doug the Minotaur does want to cage this ball up, so he's gonna have to be a little careful here. He's gonna have to play around the wizard. Might even try to play a gambit where he forces this wizard play. Maybe shoots a player down pitch, forces the wizard on the fireball or on the zap. Typically, a good player, I think, is not going to do that. He's going to hold on to that wizard. He knows that the wizard's doing work, even if you're not spending it, just by forcing your opponent to play differently. Boot Polish demands death in this game. Grave mistake. Welcome to the stream. All right. Penultimate game of the season to get underway. Both coaches playing for third place. Looks like we're going to have clear skies for this third place game. White Skull Windbreakers, they do have money. Aha! Oh! Let's go! Let's go! 410K in the bank, picking up Morg, giving up an extra 380K to his opponent. Let's go! So that is 525,000 gold in petty cash going to the Force of Flames now. I don't know if JD Whitey was prepared for this. Let's go. Oh, they rearranged the inducement, it looks like. Holy smokes, let's go. I don't know if the Wood Elves actually have a decent start. I mean, there's Morg. Can you do 2 Morgs? You can't in the tabletop game. At least I don't think so. You can't have the same star player playing for the both teams, but I'm not sure. I don't know who else he would pick if not Morg. Oh, he can pick Morg. Oh, let's go, Morg mirror match. So if he's gonna take Morg, it means he's not gonna get the wizard. But I mean, if you can take Morg, you take Morg. Morgenthorg, MA6, Strength 6, has block, has Mighty Blow +2, and of course he's got the reroll on the failed pass. Not that that's gonna matter too much in this matchup. But my goodness, Thick Skull as well is going to leave him on the board along with AV 11+. Doug Minotaur with the curveball says, let's go. I've got money. It's time to spend it. JD Whitey trying to figure out how to spend the rest of this money. 2 assistant coaches, 2 kegs. 2 kegs are all but going to guarantee that the what has happened. Oh, it's a new intro. Oh, does it really? So there's only one more. All right. That makes sense. JD Whitey, welcome to, or JD Whitey, J.R. Wilkes, welcome to the stream. So Dr. Minotaur is spending the money on Morgan. Wait! Oh, I think that is in the rules. I think it is in the rules. I think they both negate. Yeah, that's what it is. Oh man, I'm sorry, I'm not on top of it. In the rule book, if both players spend their money on the same star player, the star player takes both and says, "Nah, I can't get involved. I'm just walking off." So neither player gets Morgenthorg in this matchup. It's called Windbreakers to set up their 11. Remember, they have that journeyman on the roster. Right here, Grom, the #1 lineman. Boy, I am out of it today, man. It's been a day. What's called Windbreakers to set up their defense. They're giving up both wide zones, so 3 on the line. Look at this interesting formation here. They've got let's call that 3 linebackers and the corners in tight, and three safeties, and now the Force of Flames to set up their offense. So the Force of Flames almost certainly going to retreat here on offense. This is going to be how they're going to stall this game without taking too many hits. They've got the speed to retreat and engage in turn 3 or 4. That way they'll take very little hits. They'll engage by their end zone, and then that's where they'll make their move. That instead of engaging down here, say where they're going to take a lot of hits, they'll engage down here, and then they'll use their speed to break away and score late in the half. So setting up near the line of scrimmage for the Force of Flames, and they don't have to receive here because they've got the speed. So you can see the ball kicked to the 20-yard line. on the quick snap. They'll be able to move all six players here. Roll a 3 on the D3. They're going to move them one space close to the ball. Yep, they've got the speed to retreat, so they'll have some coverage on the ball, and then they'll retreat first. JD Whitey tried to retreat after rolling dice in the semifinals, didn't work out, and didn't have coverage on the ball, and then had to scramble to recover it. Starts with the blitz with Kaladin to get coverage on the ball. There's the journeyman Sophiel, the number 11 lineman. And indeed, this Forest of Flames retreating back to their end zone. Good action order here by JD Whitey. Running the catcher back to safety. The catcher has dodge and sidestep here. Relaine, the number 4 catcher. Good dodge by Leighton, the number 7 lineman. And now the 2+ pickup fails on a 1. Doesn't re-roll that, and I think that's a good call. Doesn't need to re-roll that because the ball is pretty safe. Turn 1 now for the Windbreakers. Doug, another failed pickup. You might just let this rock as well, yeah? Boy, this is going to be a quick game. The Windbreakers reset their line on defense, not chasing down these Wood Elves. Failed pickup yet again by the throwers. Going to be turn 2 right back to the Windbreakers. The Windbreakers turn 3 now for the Force of Flames. Good pickup. They're going to move the ball to their own 18-yard lines at center pitch. I don't know. I don't know about that defense. We'll see what he has in mind. Shifts Air Biscuit, the number 4 big blocker, out to the left. Shifts Bull Snort out to the right. Shifts the whole line out to the wide zones. And he's going to put a new player in the nose tackle position. Barking backside, the number 15 Orc lineman is going to take that position. One of the things I have to do in the offseason, or one of my goals in the offseason, is to make sure MAMLBot's up to date with the up-to-date rules, and make sure that I am up to date with all the rules. Make sure I know how all the little edge cases work in the game. Leighton, the number 7 lineman, is going to move towards the line here in turn 4 for the Forest of Flames. So they are going to engage in turn 4, but maybe not quite the way they expected to. Ball advances to the Force of Flames' own 6-yard line. Wow. Blitz with the War Dancer. 2-die blitz. Got double pals on Barking backside. 10+ breaks armor here. This is the injured Orc lineman. Broke armor! Got a stun. Wow. Failed the rush with Kaladin. Might, it's just going to let it rock. Lets it rock. Might have re-rolled up but said, no, I don't need to. Kaladin falls down. It's scary to fall down with a fragile, important piece like this with the War Dancer 8+ to break armor, but stays alive. on the 7. Turn 4 now for the Windbreakers. Now the Windbreakers trying to take the marks that they want to take. Have to do it in such a way that they're not spread too thin and allow the Wood Elf team to open up a hole and get past them. Four players on the roster with the dodge skill. Two-die blitz coming up into double skulls against Leighton. Reroll gets spent into a push. Rulag on the blitz. Roll double skulls. Windbreakers down to 2 rerolls here. Got a push on the reroll. Keeping the defense intact here. I think this is a wise move by Doug the Minotaur. Did not get goaded into chasing down this Wood Elf team. I think I probably still would have chased them down, and I just would have set this up just maybe a little bit closer to the opposing team. But I suppose Doug thinks keeping his secondary back here means that he's guaranteed to be able to chase down anybody that gets by him toward the end zone. On the bonus clock for the first time are the White Skull Windbreakers. Going in on the foul on the War Dancer. Yeah, he's almost always going to take that foul if that War Dancer is prone. If he can remove the War Dancer, that's a big, big loss to the Forest of Flames, and Doug the Minotaur doesn't have to worry about this nuisance anymore. Second quarter begins with the Forest of Flames in possession of the ball on their own 6-yard line. Setting up a potential 2-die block on Bullsnort. Bullsnort over in the right wide zone, just across the line of scrimmage. Tries to rush in position, but fails the rush roll. Re-rolls this. There's the 2-die block and got the POW. And breaks armor. Wow! First injury of the game is going to go to the Forest of Flames. They've got the removal 1-man player advantage for the Wood Elves. Had to spend the reroll on the rush to get the 2-die block out of this. But it worked out. That's a permanent removal now. White Skull Windbreakers will be down to 10 players for the rest of the game. 2-die blitz on Grom, the journeyman. Gets the knockdown thanks to the block skill. Another armor break. Gets a stun this time in the right wide zone. Moves the ball carrier across the line of scrimmage now on the opposing 2-yard line. Inside the cage in that right wide zone. 33 seconds left on the clock. Good 2+ dodge into a 2+ dodge again by Kaladin. Another dodge succeeds. Booth Polish says, someone tell the elves they aren't playing right. Kaladin, the War Dancer, gets behind that defensive line. Fails a dodge over in the right wide zone. Lets this one rock. That'll be a turnover. Turn 5 back to the Windbreakers. This is the final game of the season for both of these teams. We're duking it out to see who finishes in the top 3 this season. Doug the Minotaur, current league champion, current Chaos Cup champion. Looking to finish as high as possible. Force of Flames, current Dungeon Bowl champions. And JD Whitey, that is. Looking to finish in the top 3 themselves. Double skulls by the Windbreakers. Spends another reroll into a turnover. Null turn for the Windbreakers here, and they had to spend the reroll. Always risky to roll dice when you don't have the block skill. Sometimes you have to do it, especially at low TVs, and this is why you can't defend yourself when you roll that both down result. And now the Forest of Flames have a big opportunity here to clear some pitch, control some pitch, and maybe even take care of the secondary. Forest of Flames will be able to, if they wish, they can control all of this pitch here. And it looks like it's exactly what they're going to do. Two-die blitz on Takar, the one who supplied it by Kaladin, gets the knockdown here. Repositioning these elves. So we talked about how JD Whitey and the Force of Flames didn't want to take too many blocks. Once he's in scoring position, he'll take some key blocks here and some key marks, really, to just keep this defense from being able to dodge away and get at this ball carrier. Turn 6 for the Windbreakers. Now the Windbreakers finding themselves behind with few players that are really free. They have the 2 players in the left wide zone. They have Morg Stomper here. He's so good at stomping Morg. He stomped him right out of the game before the game started. Could I block on Dabbit? Gets a pal. Looking for this 8+ or 7+ with Mighty Blow. Got the KO. Well done. 10v10 on the pitch. But remember, the Wood Elves have a bunch of kegs. It's going to be a 2+ to recover in the next drive. Normally a KO rolls a 4+ to recover between each drive. Each keg gives you a +1 to your die roll. Did I block on Hobber? Gets a pal here. Breaks armor. Gets another KO. One-man player advantage for the Windbreakers now. They cannot stop this score. Well, it's very unlikely they stop the score. But we'll see how long JD Whitey wants to try to stall this out for. 35 seconds left on the clock. Windbreakers looking to set themselves up for a better position when they're on offense. They're going to take a 2-die block. Knock down the nose tackle. They took it as a both down result, so there's no push. Turn 7 for the Forest of Flames. Will they score now is the question. I think they can go either way with it. I think I would probably score now. 2 turns giving up the White Skull Windbreakers. That's not a lot of turns for an Orc team. And you can reset your position and keep your elves safe and potentially get 2 elves back onto the pitch. But we'll see what JD Whitey wants to do. JD Whitey thinks they can stall this out for another turn. I think that's fine. Again, either way with this, I think is fine. I would just get worried that I'm going to lose another elf or 2. Good dodge here by Leighton, the number 7 lineman in the Blodger. 1 die block at the line is going to be a skull. Just eat that skull. No armor break. Turn 7 now for the Windbreakers. So many good games have come out in like the last couple of weeks, even past couple of days. I just finished Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake. Absolutely lovely remake. I had a ton of fun with it. 2-die blitz, double pals on Kaladin. Whole 7+ to break armor here. Can Takar take Kaladin out of this game? There's the armor break. Gets a stun out of it. You can bet Kaladin. Well, I don't know if you can bet, but Kaladin might be the victim of a foul. We'll see. Now has a mark on the thrower. Renarin, the number 3 thrower, the ball carrier currently. J.R. Wilkes says Spirit Island digital board game just released an expansion as well. So many good games. Yeah. I also picked up the Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remake. I love the Legacy of Kain series. Absolutely love it. So I picked those up. Picked up the Thing remake. An underrated. I don't know if it's underrated. I think it was probably pretty well rated in its time. But a really good, I guess you'd call it survival horror. Very, very good classic PS2 game. What else did I pick up? Oh, Indiana Jones is on Game Pass. Indiana Jones is phenomenal as well. It's basically, I was afraid Indiana Jones was going to be Uncharted, which I don't really like, but it's not. It's more like Dishonored, which I do like. So I'm very excited. Oh, fails the rush here. Will probably spend the reroll to get the mark. Well done, 2 rushes. Gets a mark on the number 5 catcher. Still just a 2+ dodge for the thrower. Bad Dog says, remember kids, when rolling to break AV8, don't waste your 11s. Don't waste your 11s. Forest of Flames for turn 8 now. Got to score on this turn to get on the board. They're currently marked. They do have a reroll. They do not have the dodge skill. So it's not going to be free, but I don't think it matters too much here. Going to blitz away the thrower. They just need the push. That's all they got. That's all they needed. There's the push. They'll be able to walk this ball into the end zone 1-0. Very well played by JD Whitey to get on the board. One turn left for the Windbreakers to get on the board in the first half of this game, unless, of course, there's a timeout. Jerry Wilkes says, best Blood Bowl advice, just roll 6s. Stop sucking at rolling dice and just roll 6s. Yeah, there are those two Wood Elves coming back on the pitch. 2+ on all those armor rolls, or all those KO rolls. Yeah, and they're going to save as many players as possible. They have to put 3 on the line. They can put a max of 2 in either wide zone. So these these are the victims, the journeyman naturally. And the already injured rookie. Good luck, fellas. Bad Dog says, oh, look, a Wood Elf scored a touchdown. I'm shocked. Yeah, real hard to keep an elf from scoring. Real hard. But that's all right. The Windbreakers now are going to try... I think they're going to try to play this for overtime. They're going to try to hold on to the ball for the entire second half of this game. If they can get into overtime and win the coin toss, they'll be in good shape. Otherwise, they can try to get the player advantage. So by playing for overtime, it makes the coin toss a little less worrisome for the White Skull Windbreakers, because if they win the coin toss, that's great. They have the ball. If they lose the coin toss, it might be fine as well, because they can spend the second half, instead of trying to score instead of trying to score 2 touchdowns, they could try to just play murder ball, right? They could just try to take as many elves off the pitch as possible. Solid defense. Nothing's going to come of it naturally. And now 3 elves to try to murder here in turn 8 for the Windbreakers. What am I not understanding? What? What's going on? What's going on? What does he have up his sleeve? Takes a 2-die block here. He could have had a knockdown. Was he trying to get a more favorable player? Was there somebody with Mighty Blow or something? Gets the removal. We'll see if that sticks. Oh, is he trying to set up a foul? Is that what he's trying to do? 3-die block on Sophiel, the journeyman. Gets the knockdown here. Needs an 8+. 8+ is not a lot. Yeah, there's the armor break. Another KO. Well done by the Windbreakers. Again, these are 2 pluses to come back onto the pitch, so only a 1 will keep these players out of the second half. Good pickup by the thrower to do nothing, and that'll be it. 1-0. The Force of Flames in the lead. The White Skull Windbreakers will be on offense to start the second half of this game. And those Elves come right back onto the pitch. Jared Wilkes says he's a player with extra movement allowance. Was he trying to one turn? Maybe. If he was trying to one turn, I would have thought he would try to get the ball carrier, or he'd try to... Maybe? I guess so. But, like, his player has... It's only an MA6, right? Yeah, so that's 5... Well, that's 3, 4, 5. That's 13... 5, 4, 3. So it's 3 spaces he'd need to move, right? So you get 6 on the movement plus 2 for the rush. That's 8. So he'd need 5 spaces. He would need 5 spaces. So I don't know how you get 5 pushes. 5 players on the blitz. This is not good for the White Skull Windbreakers. White Skull Windbreakers have been victimized by the blitz a number of times here in the Blood Bowl, man. In the semifinals and once again here. So now JD Whitey looking for an opportunity to probably block down this journeyman and get a mark on this potential ball carrier, the thrower here, Vurak. JD Whitey taking their time, trying to figure out the best route to go. Don't want to get overcommitted, because if they overcommit with their 5 players, they can find those 5 players, are more likely 3 of them pulled out of position and marked out of the drive. Gonna set up the blitz on Air Biscuit. Here it is, 2-die blitz. Gets the POW. 10 plus breaks armor. Boot polish. Playing the Orc Battle Horns. Thank you very much for the bits. And there's the mark by the War Dancer. Well done. Took the blitz. When you blitz, it's a move and a block all at once, but you have to spend 1 movement point on your block. But with MA8, that's nothing, right? Even if you spend 1 movement point, you're still very, very fast. So repositioned after the block to take a mark on Vurak. Force of Flames now on the bonus clock, trying to resolve this blitz kickoff event. 2nd mark on the ball carrier. -1 for the catch attempt and -2 for the marks. So no recovery by Vurak, the thrower. And now the Windbreakers to take some blocks on the line. Boy, what a tough spot they're in. Gets a KO on the right side of the line. 1-man player advantage now. Well, 10v10, I should say, on the pitch. Gets a knockdown here thanks to the block skill. This frees up Takar to maybe get in on this ball along with Mork Stomper. Now Doug the Minotaur is the one that really has to think about his turn here. 2 very fast elves. Elves, every single position on an elf team, on a wood elf team, is so good. I mean, look at the alignment again. MA7, strength of 3, Edge 2+, PA 4+. That is, as a rookie, that's phenomenal. Two-dive block on Kaladin. Got the pal out of this. Used Takara. This is the player with the tackle skill to try to negate that dodge skill on Kaladin. Smart move, but didn't need it. So that's the blitz. Don't know if he's going to risk a ball pickup here. Yeah, just try to get the knockdown. Try to get the removal. Needs an 8+. Got the 8+. There's an injury. Well done. Permanent removal now against the Forest of Flames. Good recovery here by Doug the Minotaur. Ball's still not safe, however. He'll still need to pull another player back. Ooh, went for the foul on Kaladin. So he did pull that player back, went for a foul. Oh, that could have been scary if that would have resulted in a call off the pitch, but it did not. .50 dodge does not work with Air Biscuit. That will be a turnover. Turn 9 now. Big first turn of this half, and now Force of Flames get their first crack in the second half. Bad Dog says, Mr. Throwing haymakers. Minute 27 on the clock. You only get 2 minutes a turn, and it goes by real fast when you're a player. You think you have all the time in the world, and suddenly you're out of time on the clock. In BB2, there was no concept of a bonus clock. Here in BB3, there is, so that relieves a little bit of the pressure. But still, if you're a player who really takes their time with their turns and maybe suffers with a little bit of analysis paralysis, you could find that bonus clock burning down very quickly. Second mark taken on Grum, the journeyman. Currently has a 2-die block with Bissig, the number 8 lineman. A game of fundamentals. That's what it's been so far. That's what it will continue to be. That's the only way either of these two teams are going to gain an advantage. They've got to play to their fundamental strengths of their team, because they don't have the skills this late in the season to really play to significant skill ups, right? You'll see maybe a kill team can now murder you, and they couldn't do that in the beginning of the season, right? Even this Orc team, Doug the Minotaur was probably hoping for a lot more tackle, a lot more mighty blow, and a lot more block, but really took a beating in the semifinals. So it just has to play to the core strength of the team. 2+ dodge, so 2+ rush. Gets a mark with Relane, the number 4 catcher on the ball, currently in the back left corner of the ball. Do you think, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, do you think, oh my gosh, do you think Doug the Minotaur's Morgue pick was just a big brain play, right? Imagine this. Wow, that's a giant die. Wow, good recovery. What is happening right now? Okay, gonna try to score here. What a score! The Forest of Flames throws a few dice, praise to Nuffle, and there it is. 2-0. Doug the Minotaur knew he had to remove or at least cover Kaladin with another player. Decided to go, he didn't have another player to go for, decided to take the mark on the left side of Kaladin, took the foul, couldn't get the removal, and now the Forest of Flames up 2-0. Great play by the Force of Flames, and now they are looking pretty good here. They're down a player. It's going to be 10v10 on the pitch. Jared Wilkes says, this is why elves are illegal. But coming back to the beginning of the game, Doug the Minotaur knows he's going into this game without spending any money. He's going into this game 165k down. That's a wizard for JD Whitey. He says, JD Whitey having a wizard gives him a strong advantage in this matchup. I'm going to spend my treasury and pick up Morgenthorg. If I pick up Morgenthorg, he's going to have to use all that money to then buy Morgenthorg to make sure I don't get him, and then he doesn't have enough money for the wizard. Boy, that would be some next level next level strategy if that is indeed the case. Doug the Minotaur this time gets the recovery, is able to receive the kickoff, and now they're going to try again to get on the board. Chair says, "This is why elves are illegal," he says, doing almost the same thing with skinks. Looking for a removal here, didn't get it. Got a stun on the right defensive end. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Yeah. Well, hold up. He's down 165. Yeah. Yeah. Well, then why didn't he pick up the wizard? I could have sworn he didn't have enough money for the wizard. But he should have. He should have had 165K. Push on the left defensive end. Yeah, that's true. Windbreakers cage this ball up on their own 4-yard line. Here's the blitz. Right in front of the line. Gets a POW out of this. Looking for a 7+ with Mighty Blow. He's got it. Gets a KO. Well done. One-man player advantage for the White Skull Windbreakers. Turn 10 for the Force of Flames. 3 rerolls left for the game. In great shape with a 2-0 lead. Scored once at the end of the first half. Scored again quickly here in the second half on defense. Kaladin on the blitz. Gets the knockdown on the journeyman. The little loading icon just kind of blinks in and out of existence in the lower right corner. And it always like catches my attention. I'm like, what's going on over here? It's almost like a graphical glitch. Two plus dodge in the left wide zone. Keeping the secondary intact. Holding this offense to a blitz on their upcoming turn. Sophiel, the journeyman, will be in a little bit of predicament due to being stunned. Dabbid might end up in trouble as well. We'll see what happens. J.R. Wilkes says, it's going to be a good strat if you're already giving away more money and then you really don't want to face him. You buy him and then your opponent buys him and negates it. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I think if you can at all help it, you don't face Morg. Like, Morg is so good. I used to say in the old version of the rules, I think Morg was overcosted. I think that was debatable. I think in this version, it is not debatable. Morg is very, very good. Turn 11 for the Windbreakers. They've got to figure out a way to get on the board twice just to get this into overtime, which means they probably need to move fast. Can't move too fast here because they're up against a faster team. Gonna have to find a way to move fast and keep it safe. This might mean having to scoot down a wide zone. Might mean committing to a wide zone, setting up a screen, and hoping for the best in the next turn. Looks like this might be exactly what he's doing here. 2-die block. He's going to get the knockdown thanks to tackle. Decides to follow up. Yep, there's the positioning on Rennerin, the number 3 thrower. Looks like this might be exactly what he's going to end up doing here. He's going to commit to this left wide zone. We'll set up a screen to keep the ball carrier safe. Ball caged up on the opposing 10. So no screen. He's going to keep this cage even though the cage is marked. Windbreakers back on the bonus clock. 6 minutes, 50 seconds left on the bonus clock. They have 3 rerolls for the game. 6 turns left. This will be the end of their 3rd turn, leaving them with 5. Provided they score next turn, that means just a quarter left for them to recover and get on the board with the 2nd touchdown. There's the foul. Got an injury out of it. We'll see if he gets called off for it. He is going to get called off for this foul. So a removal for a removal. He's finally going to lose the fouler here. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I love how he's got the animation to stand back up. He's going to argue the call. Ref's going to have none of it, and that will be it. He'll get called off the pitch. That'll be a turnover. So he did get a blodger off the pitch. I think that's a decent trade for Doug here. The problem is that blodger is going to come right back in the second drive, in the follow-up drive. Turn 11 now for the Forest of Flames. Force of Flames with no rerolls left, or I'm sorry, with 2 rerolls left for this game. Oh, big failed dodge here. Spends a team reroll, it works out. Had to spend the reroll here to make this work. Got the knockdown. One minute on the clock. Slack's going off in my ear. Another failed dodge here. This time succeeds on the free reroll with the dodge skill. Got the POW with Kaladin. 10 plus to break armor. Gets a mark on the ball. Well done by JD Whitey. A gaggle of elves dominates the left wide zone. Has a number of columns. Doug is not going to get through here. This is shut down. When you set up in columns, that means that the opponent cannot get through you without rolling dodges. Even if they blitz, they can blitz down the first player, but then the second player is still there standing in the way, exerting tackle zones. Two-die block on Dabbit behind the line. Breaks armor, gets a stun. This frees up the journeyman. Probably going to try to reposition this ball back to mid-pitch. But he's going to need to have some players free in order to reposition. He has just enough to set up a tight cage. Two-die blitz, gets a POW. Indian give this player the MVP, gets a POW on Bissig. Looking for an 8 plus to break armor. Armor break could be huge here, even if it's a stun. Doesn't get it. Will advance forward to mark a couple of more elves. These marks are not a bad tactic, but you really have to consider as the orc team, do I want to force my opponent to roll more dice? Maybe they burn through some rerolls. JD Whitey down to 1 reroll for the game. Or do I want my player to potentially be mobile? It can be a tricky decision to make sometimes, especially if you're not a particularly fast team. In this particular case, I think this is the right call. If we can get that final reroll removed from Force of Flames, it puts him in a much better position. Windbreakers back on the bonus clock with 6 minutes left. Getting as much coverage as possible on this ball carrier from that contingent on the left side. Ooh, failed the dodge. Spent the team reroll. Tried to free up Gormog, the aristocrat, the journeyman. Or not, I'm sorry, not the journeyman, the blitzer. Well, I'll get my head on straight at some point today. Turn 12 for the Force of Flames. Final turn of the third quarter. There is Sophiel down at the line of scrimmage. Two-die block against Air Biscuit gets a knockdown. The thrower on the block here. Force of Flames with a significant lead here going into the fourth quarter. It's a Powell and Inden. This frees up Hayflui Lightning. I'm just going to call him Lightning. Frees up Lightning to take a mark in front of the ball carrier. Here's the blitz with Kaladin. Rush blitz. Failed that first rush. Has to spend his reroll. There it is. Two-die block. Got the pow on the thrower. That's what he's looking for. Well done. Pops this ball free. And now the ball resting on the 18-yard line. Very well done by the Forest of Flames. Commanding game so far in these first 3 quarters. Force of Flames out of rerolls, but if the White Skull Windbreakers can't score, then it's not going to mean a whole lot for the Windbreakers. No fear on the 3+ dodge. Takes the mark on the ball. Turn 13 for the Windbreakers. JD Whitey playing a fantastic strategic game here. And the odds, with every passing turn, the odds of the Windbreakers tying this game and going into overtime become less and less likely. Windbreakers don't have a whole lot of options to really get this ball, other than praying to Nuffle here. Hopefully get a couple of knockdowns. We'll see what happens. Even if they do, the thrower probably not going to be the ball carrier. Well, maybe so. Here's the blitz. Two-die blitz. Got that first knockdown on Relane. White Skull Windbreakers deciding if they want to follow up on this block. This is an important decision. They do decide to follow up. They've got the removal. Second permanent injury of this game. Might be too little too late. We'll see what Doug the Minotaur has up his sleeve. It's going to be a dodge. Is it going to be a negative ball pickup to a dodge to a score? Oh, man. I think he wants to score this turn. I mean, he's running out of time. Gets a push on the War Dancer, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if the War Dancer wants to sidestep his way away from the ball, so he'll sidestep on the ball. We'll see where the ball bounces. Oh, it's a good catch by Rulag. So now it's just the dodge. Wow, well done. Yeah, I think it was the right call to sidestep onto the ball, but Rulag knows the stakes. Picked the ball up on a 5+. 2-1 the score. Wow, and now the Windbreakers need to recover this ball and score before this final quarter is up. Jared Wilkes says, just as he planned. Food Polish says, anything more disgusting than elves are elves that don't have to survive past a single game. Yeah, it was really... I would have said a minute ago that he needed 2 knockdowns there. Or 2 pals, really. And didn't get it on Kaladin. Kaladin, or JD Whitey said Kaladin's not clearing that ball. So decides to sidestep onto the ball, and Rulag there on the catch. Yeah, so the Windbreakers now, they have to screen out this team. The problem here is they're going to have to... Oh, boy. So the Wood Elf team almost certainly going to run away, which means that Doug the Minotaur needs to have a plan to not only engage them, but get this ball back, and it's going to happen in the blink of an eye. Probably he'll have one opportunity, one turn to recover this ball, and I think with only 3 turns left, that turn not only is going to have to be getting the ball out of the offense's hands, but recovering it and scoring. So we'll see if the Windbreakers can pull this off. They have 2 rerolls left. The opponents have none. It's going to be 9v9 on the pitch. White Skull Windbreakers putting everybody up on the line. I know why I'm so out of it today. I had to wake up early for my physical. I had them schedule it next year for not so early. J.R. Wilkes says, Nuffle says, always push onto the ball. Never sidestep onto the ball. That's in Nuffle's New Testament. So now the Force of Flames really taking their time trying to figure out how they're going to set up this offense. Looks like they're going to try to block down Air Biscuit and then maybe take off down the left sideline, or the left wide zone. And I don't think that's a bad play. If he does this, that's just further away from the end zone for the White Skull Windbreakers. And with only 3 turns left, that might be all the advantage they need to win this game. Windbreakers are praying to Nuffle for a blitz. Almost certainly going to go for the short kick here. So as it stands, I think the kick's going to be kicked here. Unfortunately for Tug the Minotaur, his kicker's on the line, so he's not going to be able to use... Yeah. Gruder29, welcome to the stream. Exactly right, yeah. Kicker's on the line, so he won't be able to use the kicker to actually place it with any accuracy. You can see JD Whitey says, nope, I'm putting somebody over there. Your kicker, in the game of Blood Bowl, your kicker cannot go on the line of scrimmage and cannot be in either wide zone if you want to use the skill. Jared Wex is not too risky, mostly center. We'll see. Oh, it's over to the right. I think it's a touchback. Who gets a reroll? Force of Flames gets a reroll back on the touchback. And now they're going to have an opportunity to run this catcher down the left sideline. Here it is. 2-die blitz. Oh. Jerry Wick says, well, that's what he didn't want. Two-die block on Gourmand. He'll get the POW here. He'll get the POW here. Probably just scoots around the inside unless he wants to take a 2+ dodge. And if he takes 2+ dodge, Dog the Minotaur is going to pray that this does not work out. I think he takes the dodge. There it is. Well done. And that ball going all the way down pitch. And the Forest of Flames threatening to put this game away if they haven't already. Very well done by JD Whitey. I went to Wegmans. Wegmans is a local grocery store. I went to Wegmans today looking for this very specific type of apple that apparently they only sell. It's called a sugar bee apple. Absolutely delicious. But you know, we're out of apple season, so I was like, oh, I hope they still have them. They do. They're much smaller, but they're selling them in bags. I guess because they're so small. And I got 2 bags of these apples. I'm so excited. Fails the rush here. Probably lets this rush rock. We'll see. Yeah, lets the rush rock, but it's going to be a KO. Turn 14 now for the Windbreakers. Boobs09 asks, can he be hit if he double rushes? He can be hit if he double rushes. Yeah, Gruder29 says, yeah, I think so. 2-die block on Beld's only going to be a push. Boob asks, sorry, man, if you double rush the catcher, could anyone do anything but base him? He can get a double rush blitz on the catcher. But, I mean, he's going to have to roll some dice first. Iron Cynic, welcome to the stream. Just shy of a mark on the catcher. Pulls back Indin, but this isn't going to have much effect without the rush. Maybe he's just in position if this ball gets recovered. He's going to send Rulag forward to be the possible scorer. Rulag's going to move down pitch in the right wide zone. Needs to spend the re-roll here. Got the knockdown he's looking for. We'll see if this ball stays on the pitch. It does not. This ball is going to get thrown back. No! No! I thought the crowd was like, it's all you, Rulag. Well, a good position now for the Windbreakers. Very good position now for the Windbreakers. Going for the 3+ pickup. Found the pickup. Is going to spend this reroll for sure. Recovers the ball. And now it's the Windbreakers with no rerolls remaining. Holy moly. 2 rushes to try to get behind Rulag in the right wide zone. I don't even know if I caught that replay. I am so engrossed in this. I didn't. 2-die block. Big pow on Leighton here. Wow, even bigger. Breaks armor is going to be at least a stun. Big stun here for the Windbreakers. Now turn 14 for the Forest of Flames. Doesn't look like they're going to get block on Turtle Burp here. Or a player with the block skill, that is. Wow. So it looked like the Windbreakers were all but done for. Failed rush! Oh, no! No! Oh, turn 15, the Windbreakers! Oh, it looks like we're going to overtime. Oh, the War Dancer dead! On the rush! Iron Cynic demands death and gets it! War Dancer comes in on the rush, fails, or on the blitz, or double rush, not on the blitz, but fails the rush, spends the reroll, and then trips over his own feet and kills himself. So now what does Doug the Minotaur do? Does he stall this out for a turn? Does he get on the board? Oh my goodness gracious, he's gonna stall! He's gonna stall! I think he has to with 2 turns left for the Wood Elf team. That's plenty for a Wood Elf. Yeah. Gruder29 says he needs to. Plenty for a team, an Elf team to score. 2-die block on Sophiel. Gets a knockdown. 7+ to break armor here. Doesn't get the armor break. That would have been huge. 2-die block on Bissek. Back across the line of scrimmage in the left wide zone. Every knockdown counts. Well, maybe that one not so much, but Doug the Minotaur, current league champion, trying to stay alive and finish the season in 3rd place. Can he do it? 2-die block on Beld, gets the POW. Every removal will count here. No armor break though. Trying to set himself up in a better position for overtime, should this indeed get to overtime. Another knockdown on Dabbit. Again, an armor break. Gets a stun. Does that do it? Yeah, so he's down to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he cannot get to the ball carrier. Very well done by Doug the Minotaur. My goodness. My goodness. What a turn. And now JD Whitey cannot get at this ball carrier. We'll have 1 turn to try to win this game. Well, I guess if this blitz would have worked, he could have tried to YOLO Sophiel to take a mark. Turn 16 for the Windbreakers. They are going to risk nothing and walk this ball in. It's going to be 2-2. We're going to overtime. Unbelievable. The White Skull Windbreakers come back from a 2-0 deficit to tie this ball game. Well, we're maybe not going to overtime. There's 1 turn left. 2-0 deficit to make this a 2-2 ball game. 1 turn left. It's going to be the Forest of Flames trying to win this in a single turn. Unless there's a timeout. Unreal second half to this game. Forest of Flames had an absolutely fantastic first half. Dare I say flawless. Got on the board 1-0, did really well. Recovered the ball quickly in the second half of this game on defense to score 2-0, or bring the score up to 2-0. The Windbreakers had 5 turns left on the clock to try to score 2 touchdowns. And they did it. They've done it. White Skull Windbreakers trying to screen out the pitch. Iron Cynic says I've won a strong one-turn defense against JD Whitey. JD Whitey looking to set up a one-turn touchdown opportunity here. And you can see he's got this pocket here. This is exactly what he's going to try to do. So a common scene. Gruder29 says timeout. Yeah, if there's a kickoff event called timeout, and if the timeout triggers, there'll be 2 turns for the Force of Flames to score. Bootball says trying to explain the game's strats to my girlfriend. Well, welcome to the stream, Iron City girlfriend. Bootball says, and JD and Doug make me look like an idiot playing this way. Hey man, you all make me look like an idiot. So yeah, they'll set up a gap here where they're going to try to move. They're going to try to blitz an opposing player into this gap, and then push this opposing player in such a way that they can end up pushing. Let's say it's this player here, which is almost certainly is. They're going to try to push that player down pitch. They're going to try to push this player down pitch the number of spaces they need to get into scoring position. Iron Cynic says, I'm married, and my girlfriend's not here. Iron Cynic said, I wanted a strong one-turn defense. That was not a strong one-turn defense. All right. Oh, got the knockdown. He didn't want the knockdown here. On the one dive block, got the POW. The knockdown's not going to do it. He's not going to be able to score. He would have needed 2 pushes on the catcher. Three pushes on the catcher. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 3 pushes on the catcher to make it happen. Didn't happen. Needed that opposing player standing. So we're going to go to overtime here. This will be a full 8 turns. Passing for SPP, because why not? Why not? Turn 17, the White Skull Windbreakers stay alive in this consolation match. No resources will be replenished, but we will have a coin toss. Whoever wins will almost certainly be on offense. We'll see who it's going to be. Force the Flames win the coin toss, and they absolutely choose to receive. So the Windbreakers yet again have to play defense. This is not sudden death. So if the Force of Flame gets on the board, the Windbreakers will be able to try to score in return, provided there's any time left on the clock. No rerolls get replenished, unlike the start of the second half. The bonus clock doesn't get replenished either. So you can see the Windbreakers have 5 minutes, 4 seconds left on the clock, whereas the Force of Flames have 6 minutes, 24 seconds left on the clock. Neither team with any rerolls unless Nuffle, Lord Nuffle, grants them to us in the kickoff event. Windbreakers to screen out these elves, trying to cover as much of the pitch as possible. 9 players on the pitch. I think they're going to have a one-man player advantage. They're going to have a one-man player advantage. Crucially, there will be no War Dancers on the pitch for the Forest of Flames. So what's called Windbreakers able to remove that final dastardly War Dancer. Gruder29 says, yeah, no reroll either. So scary. It is. Like, I'm getting anxious and I'm not playing. Yep, everybody up near the line as the Woodies tend to do. Kicker in play now. We'll see what. Wow, what is that skill to keep that ball spinning around on the ground like that? So Doug the Minotaur ends up kicking this ball deep. Forest of Flames rolls a 1 on the D3 to move 4 players on the quick snap. Each of these 4 players gets to move 1 space towards the ball. The ball's going to bounce forward 1 space to start overtime. Turn 17 for the Forest of Flames. Ball on the 16-yard line, just outside the left wide zone. The Forest of Flames doing what they do, retreating back toward the ball, not giving up any blocks to this Orc team. Gruder29 says, every rush is a nail-biter. Yes, indeed it is. Bad Dog says, Elf Daka coming. Yeah, good pickup here. 2+ pickup. When you see people referring to a Daka, it's exactly that. It's running this way. I used to try to make jokes about what Daka meant for people that don't understand, but I've stopped doing that. Doug the Minotaur. So Doug the Minotaur did not cross that line of scrimmage when J.D. Whitey had the ball on offense in the first half of this game. This time, he's slowly marching forward. He's not giving up any amount of pitch. He's going to take a couple of spaces across the line of scrimmage. Go to turn 18. Force of Flames are going to retreat a few more spaces here. They don't want to engage these Orcs in a manner that's not going to allow them to stall this out as much as possible. So they're going to retreat. They're going to engage here. That way, when they break free, nobody's going to be able to catch them, and they don't have to spend a few turns up here getting beat up by Orcs. Turn 18 for the Windbreakers. Doug the Minotaur taking a couple more steps forward, still screening out these elves. He knows he doesn't want them to get past him, or else he won't catch them. He'll need to keep that secondary in check as well. You can see he has Vurak back behind the line of scrimmage. He has Takar back there as well. Probably crosses the line of scrimmage with at least one of them here, but he needs to keep at least one player back just in case. Yeah. He's going to move the safety forward across the line of scrimmage, so he doesn't keep him one space back. He's going to keep the formation intact. Knows there's a whole lot of space between the Orcs and the Wood Elves. The Wood Elves are going to keep retreating now, retreating all the way back into their own end zone. Turn 19. It is, oh my goodness, it's like a showdown in the Wild West. Who's going to flinch first? Turn 19 for the Windbreakers. Neither reroll for either team makes the odds significantly different. No action by the Windbreakers. Oh, it's high noon in this consolation match. Oh, who is going to blink? Who is going to flinch? Turn 20 for the Force of Flames. It's going to be J.D. Whitey. J.D. Whitey taking a mark in the right wide zone against Turtle Burp. There's 2 marks now. Blitz coming up. 2-die blitz. Ball carrier moves forward first. Understands action order. Needs to get the protection of the ball carrier now. Leighton on the blitz with the block skill. Here it comes. Got the POW. Well done. 10+ breaks armor. Imagine a coin flip. If you need to flip heads on a coin, what are your odds? Your odds are 50%. Now, if I tell you you need to flip heads on either of 2 coin flips, what are your odds? Your odds are now 75%. That is a huge, huge difference. And that is because we're only talking about 2 states, right? Heads or tails. A D6 is not that different. There are more states. There are 6 different states, 1 through 6. But your odds significantly change with a reroll on a single die like that. So having rerolls banked change the odds of your plays significantly, and not having any rerolls really makes everything that much more risky. Turn 20 for the Windbreakers. They've got to cover the right wide zone. They've really got to cover everything. So this means they're going to spread a little thin now. Either that, or they're going to get aggressive on this ball. We'll see what they decide to do, and it looks like they're going to get aggressive. Now, what they might be trying to do here is they might be trying to shut down the elves this way, right? So they'll cover up here, and they'll swing their defense in on the left side, and this way they control so much more pitch, giving these elves not a whole lot of space to go. By doing this, they might be able to double up and keep positions, like say, for instance, maybe having some columns here, or whatever he decides to do. But the point being, when you have to spread wide across the pitch, that means you're spread thin. If instead I can line my guys up on half the pitch, well, now look at this. I've got another line to do something with. That could mean this. That could mean this. That could mean something like this. You have a lot more options, so your defense gets stronger because you have less pitch that you have to defend. Black Wolf 82 says, hell of a game. Yes, indeed. Still doesn't have the coverage or the protection on that right wide zone just yet. Probably going to pull somebody back. So you can see what he did here is he did the columns that we talked about. There they are. Stand up blitz. Gets the knockdown on Beld. Looking for an 8+. It's going to reposition the big end blocker. So take a mark on Dabin. So what the columns do for you. Let's say I want to move this way. If there's just one person here, I can blitz down this guy, and now I have a lane to run through. If instead I knock this guy out, I still have another guy here exerting tackle zones. And so this lane is still closed. When I play elves, like wood elves, that's one of my go-to defenses, to set up columns, just column across the pitch, keep my guys alive, prevent the ball from getting behind me. Turn 21 for the Forest of Flames. 4 turns left in the ball game. If it is tied at the end of overtime, it goes to kicks. Kicks is just a roll-off. Whoever wins the roll-off, it happens behind the scenes, they win the game. Blitz on Air Biscuit. 2-die blitz. Double skulls! Oh, boy! There's the turnover. Turn 21 now for the Windbreakers. Dangerous when you don't have rerolls. You can see the pause there by JD Whitey, probably gasping. Or sighing. Gets the push on the 2-die block against David. Cannot follow up to defend. We'll get a second block here by give this player the MVP, the number 6 big end blocker. That's going to tie up another player blocking. Move 09 says gas meter cursing. Okay, I'll accept that. Doug the Minotaur gets the assist for the 2-die against Bissig. This means the blitzer is going to be Rulag. So Rulag is going to try to clear this player, blitz the ball carrier with Rulag. Gets the knockdown on Bissig. Wow, got a removal. This could be big. Wait, why did he fill the gap? Maybe he's not going after the ball carrier after all. Oh, he's just going to run around the outside. Fair enough. Fair enough. 2-die block. Got the POW he was looking for. 7+ breaks armor. This would be a huge removal if it works out. Doesn't get the removal, but the ball's going to bounce one space to the right here. So he's got the column set up right here in front of the ball. But yeah, doesn't want to leave that ball for these elves. Good pickup on the 50-50 pickup. Would have been a 3+, adds 3+. -1 for the mark by the number 5 catcher. We'll get the knockdown on Dabbit as well. 8+. Good stun. Wow, not even. Good removal. Wow, even better. Oh, the fortunes are changing for the White Skull Windbreakers. Six players left on the pitch for the Forest of Flames. Turn 22. 3 turns left in this game. It looked all but in the bag for this team just 8 turns ago. 2-die blitz on the ball carrier. Got the POW here. We'll see where the ball bounces. Bounces into the hands of Rulag. The one who dealt it. Level 4 blitzer, maybe the most important, certainly the most expensive player on the roster. And now being marked by what few elves there are remaining. Turn 22 for the Windbreakers. Boy, how does he get out of dodging? I don't think he does. Oh, no, he does. He blocks down Renarin. He gets an assist on Leighton, and then he blitzes with Rulag. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's going to be 1 rush. So he can get the block here. He can bring somebody in on the assist, you know, wherever he likes, maybe here. And then this player can blitz this guy. And when he blitzes this guy, he can follow up, which means he's not marked by this guy anymore. Now, it might be a different player. I don't know. But this is a blodger, so it's going to be real tough to remove this guy. A blodger means he has block and dodge. So the block skill means that you don't get knocked down on both standing result. And the dodge skill means that you stay standing on a defender stumbles result. Now, Rulag does have the tackle skill. Tackle negates dodge. So Leighton would not remain standing on a defender stumbles result. Dr. Minotaur very carefully calculating this turn. 20 seconds left in turn 22. These games in this Blood Bowl have been so good. So incredibly good. And we've got one left after this, the championship. Unlike this matchup, the championship's going to be 2 bashy teams duking it out. Lizards and Orcs. Lizards do have Skinks. Skinks are very, very fast. MA8. Also fragile pieces. Windbreakers back on the bonus clock with 3 minutes, 46 seconds to go. Trying to figure out the best way to do this. I'm not sure I've seen Doug Minotaur ever dip this far into the bonus clock. You can see JD Whitey there. In the picture-in-picture. Here comes the... Oh, boy! Woo. Suspends the blitz this way, gets the knockdown. So trying to look to secure this ball, perhaps. J.R. Wilkes says, "Fragile pieces. Have you not seen the skink armor? I hear there's been advancements in skink technology, in lizardmen technology." Oh, look for the handoff. Failed the handoff. So these, you can see the blitzer has animosity with all of his teammates here. So whenever he tries to give the ball to a teammate, whether it's a handoff or a pass, he has to roll for animosity. On a 1, he will refuse to give the ball up. Succeeded on that die roll, but failed the handoff. It was a 3+ on the catch. That's 1 extra die to roll though, with no rerolls. Oh, turn 23 now for the Forest of Flames. The ball is on the 12-yard line. Double pals on Rulag. So Doug the Minotaur almost certainly there didn't want to, had an opportunity to score in the way we described, but giving up a number of turns here, giving up 2 turns to the Wood Elves to try to get back on the board. And decided to try to keep this ball safe for at least another turn. Didn't work out on the handoff. We'll see if he can recover the ball. 2-die blitz is a pal on Grom. 2 orcs still covering this ball. Not anymore! Not anymore. Pushed onto the ball. The ball is going to bounce out of the hands of Natam. And now, oh boy! Good recovery by JD Whitey by Beld. No punt, no pass. Turn 23 for the Windbreakers. Penultimate turn of the season for the Windbreakers. So the Windbreakers can either score to win or it's going to kicks. We'll see what the Windbreakers can do here. First block of the turn. They're going to get a knockdown. Breaks armor on the Tan. Good injury. Six elves removed from the board. 5 remaining. Blitz on the catcher. Gets the knockdown thanks to tackle. 7+ will break armor. There's the armor break. Another death! A murder has been committed again! 2 high-dollar pieces, man. If this wasn't the final game of the season for JD Whitey, I would imagine he'd be cursing right now. Or they'd be cursing. I'm not sure who JD. I'm not sure how who JD Whitey is. I mean, other than an excellent Blood Bowl coach. Windbreakers with Vurak back in the safety position. Just hanging back there. Nobody can score for these Wood Elves. But probably keeping him back here just to eliminate options for JD Whitey. If JD Whitey tries to keep this ball out of the Windbreakers' hands, it'll be Vurak's job to try to recover it. And then pass. So very good planning here by the Windbreakers to keep the thrower in the secondary. I've never seen Doug the Minotaur so deep on the bonus clock. Wow. Intense. Turn 24 for the Forest of Flames now. Forest of Flames, their job is to just keep the ball safe. Keep the ball safe. Yes! That is maybe the perfect play. Moves right into the corner, which means if the ball is knocked out of the hands of the ball carrier, it increases the odds of it going out of bounds. There's a 5/8 chance that the ball goes out of bounds and gets thrown back in somewhere that Doug the Minotaur can't recover. JD Whitey moving players back into position just to prevent that block as much as possible. Yes! The perfect play. Turn 24 for the Windbreakers. Can they at all make this happen, or does it come down to kicks? The Windbreakers won the Chaos Cup on kicks. Have they been praying to Nuffle? No, they haven't. Who has won this game? Windbreakers up 1 on kicks. It is 1-1 on kicks. The first to 3 will get this. There's 2. And there's 3, the White Skull Windbreakers. Oh, they gotta get to 5? Oh, you just roll 5, all right. It is first to 3. The White Skull Windbreakers win the game on kicks. Well done to Doug the Minotaur. Well done to both coaches. What a fantastic game. Gruder29 says, what a dicing. Quite literally. Roll better. Oh, man. All right. Oh, boy. What a fantastic game that was. Very well played by both coaches. Jared Wilkes asks, is the dice roll graphic new? Yep. It's brand new. Yep. Well, not brand new, but it's the first time we've seen it in the league, yeah. When Blood Bowl 3 released, it just did it behind the scenes. And honestly, I'd forgotten it was here. But it's cool that you can see it now. In Blood Bowl 2, you used to be able to see actual animation for kicks, but this is fine. It shows you exactly what's going on. But there you have it. The White Skull Windbreakers are going to finish the season in 3rd place. Congratulations to Doug the Minotaur. And honestly, the Forest of Flames, 4th place that is nothing to sneeze at. All 4 of these teams in the top 4 here are absolutely phenomenal coaches, and we got one more game left this season. It's going to be Cenozoic Park versus Nevagana. That's Lizards versus Oryx. That's Nick Satan versus Chime. That's going to be a fun one, and that's going to be this Sunday. I don't have the schedule graphic due to a deficiency in my software. I apologize, but that's going to be this Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's UTC -5. And then I'll get that all set up so that it's in Twitch and all of our social media pages and in Discord and stuff. Sunnif, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, these top 4 teams are fantastic. J.R. Wilkes says it best. JD Whitey is still a competition champion, is still the reigning bowl champion, is an absolutely fantastic coach, and I hope we see them back. We see them back again for season 5. All these coaches have been so much fun. They've been so nice. Fun playing. This game has been long, and it just you think you've seen it all, and you haven't. It's such a great game. JD, thank you so much for your kind comments, and well played tonight. We hope you see you back for season 5. Just a phenomenal coach. And every single one of your games have been an absolute treat to watch. It's been a lot of fun. So thank you. Thank you for participation. We hope to see you back. And but 4th. Yeah, so our season championship is going to be Sunday. Normally we'd have a graphic, but I wrote the song correctly. It's going to be this Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at CTC -5 at Cenozoic Park versus Nevagana. Nick Satan versus Chime for the championship. We'll get that set up in just a few minutes, so you'll see that in Twitch, on Facebook, on Blue Sky, on Twitter, and all that jazz. Man, what a great... Oh, thank you, Doug the Minotaur. I appreciate it. Thank you for your kind words. Also a fantastic coach, and also a really fun coach to watch. I mean... Man, I just love this game. All right, one more game left this season. It technically hasn't been scheduled yet, but again, it'll be this Sunday at 8:30, and when that gets on the schedule in just a few minutes, you'll be able to check out and get alerted to those schedules on our website at MAML.club. Oh, thank you very much, Black Book 82. I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out and watching. I genuinely do appreciate it. I love this game. I love games in general, but I really love this game, and I just love sharing it. Like, one of my favorite things in the whole world is to share games with people. So, thank you very much, Iron Cynic. Anyhow, when that game gets scheduled, you'll be able to check out and get alerted to the schedules on our website at maml.club. That's maml.club here on Twitch, or on our social media pages on Blue Sky, Twitter, and Facebook. You can also watch previous games on our YouTube channel. Man, if you watch this game tonight and you don't want to play Blood Bowl, what is wrong with you? Play Blood Bowl, man. It is so much fun. We're going to take a month or so, probably a little bit longer, off after our championship game. And after that, we're going to open up registration for Season 5. If you want to play with us, by all means, come play with us. We have the league is set up in such a way that you don't have to be a veteran of the game to play. You can be a newcomer to the game. We have a bunch of friendly coaches who are willing to talk shop and teach you the game. And even if you're brand new in the first competition, you're not out of it. You just win one competition. JD Whitey came in the Dungeon Bowl, won the Dungeon Bowl, and has finished the season in 4th place. Like, you always have a shot. So if you want to play with us, I'll put the link to Discord here in chat. Just come hang out in our Discord and say, hey, I want to play in Season 5. And we'll get you all signed up, and we'll take it from there, and then let you know what you need to do. You can play Blood Bowl via Blood Bowl 3 on Steam, the Epic Game Store, PlayStation, and Xbox, and a tabletop format, your friendly local game store, until the season championship game this Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take care, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your Tuesday evening.